Hello students, the purpose of this video is to orient you or get you started on the first type of Connect assignment, which is the course reading and writing topics. These assignments are very important, so we're going to get started with them. The first time around, we got started with some grammar assignments, but I'm going to introduce those next week. As you are aware, we had to pause Connect because of the publisher. What's the word? There was the previous Connect materials expired, and so I had to redo everything and kind of use the new Connect materials. And the materials are about the same, right? So it's a lot of work for very little reason other than that. But the work is done, and I invite you, please, to watch the video. Watch the video. This is the link right here, Mr. Perez's Connect student registration video. And also watch the McGraw-Hill Connect student registration video. The first one is, let me click on it. We won't play it here, but this video might be enough for you to get started and figure out what to click on, etc. But it's not specific, it's general, right? So that's why I made my own video, plus I added additional comments, right? Specific to our course and the materials we're using from Connect in this course. But this might be enough for you to know how to register for Connect properly. Then there's this one right here. Assignments. All right. And for some reason, for me, it's starting right in the center. If it does that for you, we can just move it to the beginning. I don't think it will, though. So this isn't the same tutorial video that a lot of you, or maybe all of you, watched a few weeks ago. As early as August 31st, perhaps some of you watched the first orientation or registration video. This one is different because this one is the one that I had to do as a result of having to start over. So please don't, you really should watch this video. And I've made necessary changes to the schedule, to the syllabus, to the way that I present the links in the week 5, week 6, week 7 folder. Notice I'm not saying weeks 1 through 4. I deleted all those links, anything pertaining to Connect. So make sure you watch this video that I'm pointing to right here, that I'm showing you on the screen. You must watch this video for what I say in this next video to make sense. All right. I will not repeat things too much. I always say I won't, but I will perhaps a little bit. But I'm going to say very little content from that first video. So so from this moment onward, I assume that you watch that video and you know what's going on. Okay. So true to form, there I am. I'm Xing that out. So what we need to do then is access the first type of Connect assignments. And again, if you watch the other video, you'll see I showed you dates on the syllabus, on the master schedule, etc. I'm resisting the temptation to click on those same links again, right? So here we go. Really, the best place to start with many things is to go into into the course content, which among other things contains the weekly pages, right? Week 1, week 2. But we're going to go to week 5 because we're beginning this today on September 21st, which is the beginning of the Monday beginning of week 5. Also, I want to point out right here that it says urgent. Please note no Connect. This right here is still part of the video. In other words, as I'm recording this video, it's still on Blackboard because I'm not done yet. All right, I need to post this video in the various locations where it needs to go in this class, which is INRW V13, and then also in INRW V14 and V15. What I say here goes for all 3 sections. And so I still need to finish that process, and therefore it is still true as I record this video that Connect is not in function. You should not do anything in Connect. I also sent you a message earlier on Pronto. If you haven't checked Pronto, please do so. There is a message in the group chat there that everyone receives as long as you're in this class. And you can check either on your phone if you have the app, or you can check here on online chat Pronto. And I won't go there because you have it. You can just check yourself. And it says, wait, we were not able to start at 1 o'clock. There was a technical glitch. There was a technical glitch, and I got it resolved with the publisher. Again, I had to call the helpline, and I got through on the phone, and it worked, and I was able to fix it. Then after I fixed it, there was another glitch, but I think it was because of the way I fixed it. I hadn't done it quite right, so I had to fix it again, the same problem. But the problem, I think, is solved, okay? I'll tell you, this much earlier, before 1 o'clock when I was making this video, right? I had to stop at one point because I realized that a link wasn't working. Now it should work. And so I'm hoping that a minute or two from now, I won't have to stop again realizing that something didn't work, okay? So let's get to it then. This is with that in mind, right? Bottom line is that these links right here, this urgent, no connect and all that, and this message here says no connect, and other places, that won't be there when you actually apply what's in this video. It'll be in the video, but not in Blackboard itself, okay? Because Connect will be in service. You'll be able to use it and get going on the assignments. And let me just reassure you again of what I said in the Pronto message, that there was already from the start a 2-week late a 2-week late period, because the first 2 assignments that I'm from what I'm in the category that I'm going to show you today are due on Thursday the 24th, and it's 2 assignments. So I realized that's a lot. So I gave it instead of just the usual 1-week late deadline for Connect assignments, I gave those 2 assignments a 2-week late deadline. So the fact that I'm delaying a little bit because I had to fix the problems, right? We already had one problem before. I don't want to release this again with another problem, right? It won't matter because you have such a long period in which to do the assignments. Okay, so I'm going to click here on course content for the weekly pages. And on week 5, as I do this, I sigh. There it is, my sigh. Because it took so much work to redo this, redo that, redo so many things. It took, like I said in the other video, it took 16 weeks. 16 weeks, 16 days to redo everything. Okay, week 5. Now, something that and this is funny here. This is the video that I'm creating right now, all right? But it's kind of an illusion. What you see here is not the correct video. It's an old video, but I titled it with the title that this video that I'm recording right now and that you're watching is going to have. By the time you have it, it will be the correct link for the correct video, which is an introduction to Connect course reading and course reading and writing topics assignments. Okay. So what we're going to do, and here I am crossing my fingers hoping this will work, is I'm going to click on this Connect assignments. Now, one thing that's different, when we began on week 2 and then continued week 3 and week 4 with Connect assignments, I had set it up many weeks ago, early August, so that those links would be here with the specific assignments. Because of the change, and I mentioned this in the other video, but it's okay to mention it here again, I did not put the specific assignment or assignments from Connect that are due on the week because it's just a lot of work. And it just took, it would have taken another week at least to put all those links. And I think it's a limited use, all right? For other things, for the attendance quiz, for assignments related to your chosen book, for assignments related to Essay 0, and then later assignments in connection with your essays for composition for English 1301, because we will do some follow-up assignments for that too, right? Because we are somewhat loosely linked with that class, right? We do our own assignments, but then we'll do some assignments in reaction or in connection with those. Those types of assignments, the non-Connect assignments, will have, as you see here, specific information to that assignment. But for Connect, I just have to basically take this shortcut, but it's still useful because you have a folder there, which means, what is this part anyway? Ongoing, it says assignments due this week. So if you see the folder there, you better click on it, right? Because there's one or maybe more assignments due on this particular week, all right? Once you do that, it takes you in here. And again, this, you see it in the video, but it will not be there once these items get released, right? Because Connect will be in service. You'll be able to use it. The registration video, right? There's a link to it over here, the McGraw-Hill. It was just a matter of linking it because it was already in place in Connect itself. Then there's my Connect student registration video, which I made earlier, which I produced earlier. Well, there it is for you to watch. So you can link it from here or get it from here, either way. And then here is the illusion, all right? This video is the old video, which I will replace as soon as I'm done producing this with this new and improved and current video introduction, right? On course reading and writing topics, okay? So the real video will be here by when it matters, when you will use it. So as you can see, this is the entry page for Connect assignments, right? I got through it by clicking on the folder link inside the week 5 folder. I could have also gotten to it by clicking on the Connect assignments link here on the left menu, right? So as I've said before, there are many ways to get what you need. If you're ever lost, just click on everything, start from the top to the bottom, and eventually you'll find what you need, right? Or of course you can ask me or a classmate, where is this? And we'll let you know. Pronto is the best place to do that. Okay. Now in this general Connect folder, you have the 4 categories of assignments. Here's this one, here's this one, this one, this one. As I explained in the other video, the assignments in these other 3 folders will become available later, right? So this is the one that's our concern. And as I pointed out, there are 2 assignments due this week, September 24th, 3 days from now, at 11:59 p.m. But you do have a really long late period to October 8th, right? In recognition. And I had actually done that before this delay that I experienced today. I already knew that because it's 2 assignments, I better give you an additional week of late time. Okay, so I'm going to click on this link because you click here and nothing happens, right? So you have to click up here, press that right there, and then you see the same chart, which has the on time and the late deadline. And remember, the late deadline is the only thing that's mentioned in Connect. So these links right here were created by Connect itself, by McGraw-Hill Connect, not by me. I didn't type this right here. And so all it knows is that the final minute to submit each assignment is whatever it says here. So it doesn't know the on-time deadline. It doesn't matter what Connect knows, right? It matters what you know and what I know and what you know, right? Which is that you should do your assignments by the on-time deadline, not by the late deadline. But if life happens, which it does, as I've already seen 2-3 times, I've had problems with this, right? And I've had to delay. It's nice to have a period of additional time so that you can kind of compensate and still turn in the assignments. That's why I don't even take points off for late work, all right? But the lecture on doing things on time is in the other video. Please watch that so you can get the full effect of my lecture, how important it is to do things on time and not fall behind, all right? So now we can actually click, and once again, I am crossing my fingers that this will work, because last time when I was doing this many hours ago, it wasn't. All right, so here, this right here, if you've already registered, right, you can click on it, and it'll take you where it's supposed to take you. In my case, since I'm the instructor, it takes me to kind of the instructor view of this. So let me solve this. So none of these, this is not something you will see. You will not be clicking on home as I am doing. You will not be, hitting student view because you already are a student, right? You will have it like this from the start. So when you click on that assignment, it'll take you, I'm pretty sure it'll take you here. If it doesn't take you here, then it'll take you to the specific assignment that you need, which is 210, identifying and developing main ideas, right? That's what it said in the chart as the first assignment. It's also labeled as 210 as opposed to the last one, which is labeled 280, right? So numbers 1 through 8. Okay, so whether you have to click on it here or whether it takes you straight to the assignment, either way, this is the student view, what you are going to be looking at. I'm pretty sure it'll take you here. And then you'll click, I mean, you can click on whichever one. All of them are available today, right? This whole category became available today. Each assignment is available till its late deadline. The last minute, the literal, using that word correctly, last minute is 11:59 p.m., right? And on whatever date the assignments are due. So for this one, it's for these two, it's October 8th. So what you do, let me go ahead and do it. You click on this right here, and it takes you to this nice little description, right? It tells you that the assignment takes about 43 minutes, but that's not a promise, and that's not a requirement, neither one, right? So if you want to take longer on it, or you need to take longer on the assignment, which is in the form of a tutorial, not a test, then it might take you an hour and 43 minutes to do it, or 4 hours and 30 minutes. I'm playing around with the numbers 4 and 3, right? Or if you work quickly, but I hope correctly, and you still learn things, it might take you 33 minutes or 23 minutes, right? And so I get a report on how long it takes, and it doesn't affect your grade, right? If you take 4 hours, you'll get 100 as long as you finish the tutorial by the late deadline at the latest, right? And if you do it in 10 minutes and you finish the whole tutorial, you'll get the same 100. So it doesn't matter, right? It's a tutorial, it's not a test, okay? You probably will get some wrong answers. I get wrong answers sometimes when I do these things. I'm not ashamed to say that. And yet this is a tutorial. So I learn from my wrong answers in tutorials that I take. You will not get points off. Notice how it says 100 points off possible. It'll just take you longer to get to the end of the tutorial if you get wrong answers, right? But it's not like it'll be deducting it at the end. Well, you did really nice, but in the end, you got these many wrong and you got a 64. No, you will get a 100 as long as you finish the tutorial by the late deadline. So I'm clicking begin here. It's working. Happy to report, you can see it here with me that it's working. Notice there was a study tip there. And the first thing it takes you to is to this screen. It wants to show you, and you say, show me, right? What you're going to be looking at. You're going to be looking at this. You're going to be looking at a screen with questions, and it's pretty colorful, simple and colorful. This right here is like a science topic, physics, chemistry, something like that. And it basically shows you how it looks. It says, please look at this little introduction to this learning platform, which is Connect, Learn, Smart, Achieve from McGraw-Hill. And then it says you'll answer some questions. And as I told you, don't worry about answering questions incorrectly, as it's not an exam, right? Getting it wrong will just delay the process a little bit, right? But in that process, you will learn from the tutorial. When answering questions, you'll be asked how certain you are. It'll help you determine your path. So if it's, these will not affect your score or how long it takes necessarily, but it's a good idea to click one. You know, I know it, think so, actually unsure, but maybe I'll get it just out of sheer luck. And then no idea. I'm going to answer something. I'm going to click on an answer, but I have no idea, right? It's good to give it this, because give it a response on those 4 possibilities. It's not the answer to the question, but it gives the system an idea of what kinds of questions to throw at you, right? Eventually, you'll get enough questions that you'll learn from the process and finish the whole tutorial. So I'm clicking on the show me, and you can see also that if you get some wrong answers, for example, whoever did this one got this answer wrong, and so this popped up, and I've done it. It doesn't pop up right away. Maybe after 1 or 2 wrong answers, it won't give you these things here, but maybe, I don't know, don't quote me on the number, but maybe the 3rd time you get a wrong answer, it might give you this to kind of invite you to look at a video or watch some kind of article from the library of resources that is here. And by the way, this is the library over here of materials, so that you can study up on the topic and then be more successful in the next questions. All right. So that might happen. By the way, it doesn't have to just happen to you. You can yourself choose to look up materials. And let me take an opportunity right now to point out that right now you're looking at this left menu. Just like Blackboard has a left menu, this has a left menu. Often what I've noticed when life was normal, right? I call it normal to be in a classroom and etc., right? And we would do this, most students would do this at the computer lab, and I was there assisting, right? With this and other things. And I would see that they had this closed, right? And sometimes they wondered, a question was, well, how do I end the assignment? where do I click to tell the computer that I'm done and I want to start again later? So I told him, the first thing I told him is, okay, go here to the left. See this? Click on that, right? It looks familiar, just like on phones and tablets. You see this kind of little menu thing. You click on that and it brings up the menu. One option is to leave the assignment. You click here, that's the official place. If you close with the X, I wouldn't do that, okay? I wouldn't do that because maybe it won't save your progress. Or it might save in the previous question the answer, not in the one that you're working on, right? So the official place to leave is where it says leave the assignment, so that it will bring you back to the one that you were at when you decided to leave and do it later. So your progress is saved. Other things to click on are like the library. Here in library, you'll get some resources. Oh, okay, it took me to the beginning of the tutorial. Let me see if I can get back. It might not let me get back. All right, the rest of the tutorial, I think we were about done anyway. I don't think it's giving me much over here because I'm not a student. That's my take on it, but I'm not sure. It would give you materials that you can look at so that you can study up on the topic. Even if you're getting right answers, if you're unsure, you might study up. And there are other things available to you as well. Now you click on continue, right? It tells you, gives you a reminder of the deadline. It tells you that it takes less than 2 hours, 43 minutes is the average, but more or less something like that. You click on continue and it takes you to this list. Oh, okay, it finally gave me the materials from the library. That's what this is, all right? You see, you can click on various items, and I won't do it because I don't want to take more time, your time, right? But this you can study up on the topic, all right? So let's say I clicked on this, and then you would click on
like the rings on a tree trunk.
So again, this is a tutorial inside the tutorial, right? So let me just go.
When you read,
all right, here's nice. I'm learning. Right?
Less often.
Perfect. Done. Right. Back to the library. Okay. And not just back to the library, back to the assignment. So let's pretend that I learned it. Okay. Now I feel more confident. Now I'll go back to the assignment. It didn't take me to where I was before, but it took me to the list of assignments. These are about half, well, a little bit more than half actually, of your Connect assignments. They're all the ones that are in tutorial form. So you got the 210, 220, 230, 240. These are all the course reading and writing topics. And then the items in the 300s are the grammar topics. Again, I know some of you did like 2 assignments several weeks ago, but I explained in the other video that you're not going to have to redo them. All right, we'll start where we kind of left off. Okay, so no problem there. But this is the assignment that we're focusing on, right? The one I wanted to show you. So we click on that.
Let's start learning.
And we finally start learning. She's going to say some things, right? This little tutorial. It'll introduce these little kind of objectives, etc. And then you'll press OK. And then we get into it. So now, and notice, let's say I'm getting really tired right now. You know what? I'm so tired of just looking at the other stuff that I'm not even going to do one. So I'll click on here and then leave assignment and come back to it later. I honestly recommend you do at least a few questions, right? But I really recommend that you pace yourself, not wait till the night before the late deadline, right? Which would be like October 7th to October 8th, so that you can do this calmly. If a student complains that the tutorial was really long, I'm sorry. One of the things I'll go, well, when did you start it, right? It feels longer when it's under pressure and when you didn't have the chance to break it up into smaller chunks, right? So that's up to you. You have control over that to a large extent. So here it is. Notice this is about main ideas, right? Identifying main ideas. That's a very important topic. And so here it says, highlight key words and phrases to help narrow the writer's focus. So I'll always do what it says because there will be different types of questions. And you often have to read a paragraph on the left, right? Read this strong thesis statement, then answer the questions over here. So with its rugged terrain, rich biodiversity, and breathtaking views, Mount Willard in the White Mountain National Forest offers hikers of varying abilities both a vigorous workout and a refreshing break from everyday life. Now, I'm not going to do it, but I could click up here on this plus here and go on Google and look up the definition to biodiversity, right? Or vigorous. I mean, maybe you know what those words mean. That's fine. But let's say there's a word you're unsure of, or what is this Mount Willard? Okay, look it up. If it helps you, why not, right? Go off site, right? and look up some definitions or whatever. Do it on your phone, right? No one's stopping you from doing that because this is not a test, right? Otherwise, I'd put you on a camera and watch your every move, right? Because that, I think it's called lockdown or whatever, right? If that matter. But this is a tutorial. You can do whatever you want, ask a friend, etc., right? So it's really, this is for you to learn, right? Not to pin you down and say, what do you know now? And if you don't, then why don't you know it, right? It's to learn. So highlight the key words and phrases that help narrow down the writer's focus, right? So with its rugged so it wants you to highlight it. So click here, click on whatever you want to highlight it. So rugged terrain, rich biodiversity, breathtaking views, offers hikers of varying abilities both a vigorous workout and a refreshing break from everyday life, all right? And so it gives us this opportunity to put, how confident we are in our answer, all right? So let's see. Let me see how this highlighting works in the first place. Let's say I click on that. Okay, so does this, notice when I clicked on one word, I was intending just to click on rugged terrain, but I click more than that. So the question is this phrase with blah, 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 does this help narrow the writer's focus, or does it make it more general, right? I'm not sure. So I'm gonna unclick that one and click on something else. Okay, does this help narrow the writer's focus? Mount Willard in the White Mountain National Forest. I don't know, that seems more like setting rather than like the main idea. This right here offers hikers a vigorous workout and refreshing break from everyday life, all right? So I'm going to answer, let's see, to narrow the writer's focus, to make it less, let's see, less general or more general. I think narrow means more specific, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go with that one, but if it's not the right answer, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go with think so, right? I might even go with unsure, but I'm gonna go with think so, and let's see what happens, all right? So it said the answer was incorrect. So Mount Willard in the White House, what it's saying is the correct answer, I suppose, is this one right here. Mount Willard in the White House Mount National Forest. That is what would narrow the writer's focus. I suppose that's the one I rejected, but I suppose that's the one that's the most specific and therefore the most narrow. So I could use some help right here, perhaps watch a slide.
What are some helpful strategies for evaluating?
Right, I'm just gonna silence that and just read it, right? So determine whether a thesis is specific, follow these steps, right? So you would read that, you would read this, right? And I guess it just gave us one slide, so then we can go back, right? We can go back to
what are some helpful strategies for
over here, right? I'm having trouble getting back, so I'm gonna go over here where it says assignment, and then I'm just going to pick
let's start learning
off, right? I'll press OK, and it should see it took me beyond that first question. Okay, let's look at this one. In the thesis, in this thesis for this paragraph, which is this one, highlight the particularly specific words and phrases. So similar to the other question, which asked about narrowing down ideas, right? So this thesis, I think, is part of this paragraph. However, I believe that a fast food restaurant can provide a convenient, profitable service that will improve the diets of high school students. So highlight the particularly specific words and phrases. So what are our choices? Let me click here. So I believe that. I don't know. I don't think that tells us much. Right here, fast food restaurant is more specific because it shows us specifically, to use that word, what we're talking about, right? Not another different kind of restaurant, right? So that could be good. What other options are there? Can provide, that's a verb. And then, so it looks like this was our choice, this was our choice, this, and then also high school students. So these are all specific words and phrases that can help us, that we're going to highlight, okay? So the paragraph talks about how Americans are getting bigger. The studies show we don't really need statistics because we can just, what does it say? We can see it. We see it in the news, people suing McDonald's, things like that. Out of concern, some parents at the high school tried to force healthy eating by removing snack food and sodas and all that. These parents also oppose efforts to bring in fast food franchises into the lunchroom, etc. And so therefore, the thesis, after saying all that, is that this person believes that a fast food restaurant can provide a convenient, profitable service that will improve diets of high school students. So this person is actually saying, well, never mind the problems with it. It could actually be a good thing to have it, right? So again, regardless of what you think of it one way or the other, you have to read what the paragraph says and then answer based on that, okay? Based on basically the author's point of view. So on this one, what would be a good answer, right? So highlight the particularly specific words and phrases. So I don't think it's that. I think that is good, right? Can provide a convenient, profitable service. I think these are very specific words and phrases here, and then high school students as well. So notice it let me put more than one answer, right? Sometimes you can do that, right? And there will be others. I think it'll show like 4 different options and only one will be right. But watch out for that you can give more than one answer, because often there's more than one of certain thing in the question. All right. I am just gonna be in the I'm gonna go with unsure actually on this one. All right. And notice I had less confidence in this one than in the other one, and yet I got it right. And it was medium. It was medium, the same kind of level of difficulty, but because I had to give 3 answers, I wasn't sure that I had given the 3 that were asked for, right? So even though I put unsure, I got it right. Okay. Now we'll look at this one here. In the thesis shown, highlight the words and phrases that make the statements especially clear. So don't have to read it again because I already read the paragraph, but if you want to read it again, that's fine. So what are some words and phrases that make the statement especially clear? And students, I'll be honest, some of these, it seems like they are matters of opinion, right? Well, I think this makes it clear. Someone else might think another part of the sentence makes it clear. So I am struggling with that. And if you struggle with it, what I advise you is the same thing I'm doing. You know, I'm going to use the word humble, right? Humility. Sometimes we're going to get the answer wrong, and that's all right. You know, whether teacher or student, and we're going to learn from it. One thing that I've learned over the years, many years of both being a student and a teacher, is that after a while, I start to see what the tester wants. Now, this isn't a test, right? But since it does have questions with correct answers and wrong answers, after a while, you start seeing what the questions are like, kind of along what lines you're being asked these questions, and you can start getting to the correct answer more quickly, right? So sometimes getting some wrong answers, a few, will lead you to getting the right answers later on once you get the pattern, to kind of get the trick to it, okay? So I'm not upset about it, but I wish it was a little more obvious, I guess. So highlight the words and phrases that make the statement especially clear. So again, you know, I'm going back to the choices. Does this make it especially clear that the author, the writer who wrote this is saying that, let's say it's a woman, just to say something, just to pick one pronoun. So let's say she is saying she believes that a fast food restaurant. Well, I don't know that made it very clear. I know they're talking about fast food restaurants, and I know that the author believes something, right? This person believes something. But what? I didn't think that made it clear. If that's the answer, then I'll be kind of perplexed why it's the answer. Let's look at this. So it's kind of a lot of words. Can provide a convenient, profitable service that will improve the diets. That makes it very clear, right? Exactly what the writer is saying is the good thing about fast food restaurants. What? It's convenient. What else? Profitable. And what else? It can actually improve diets. I know a lot of people say, no way it can improve diets. But this author, what would happen is that this looks like an introduction, right? And then in paragraphs after this, in subsequent paragraphs, the author would lay out the reasons why, perhaps surprisingly, a fast food restaurant would improve people's diets, right? I think this is the best sentence. But let me try this one. Now, notice you can highlight more than one thing. High school students. I guess it gives clarity. It makes it clear whom we're talking about. So you know what? I'm going to highlight that one. I'm going to highlight this. I don't know. I think I don't want to highlight everything, although it might turn out that everything needs to be highlighted. But I think this is important because of the three things, and this is important because of the group of people that are included in this. It's not like adults or young children, right? But you know what? I'm going to remove it, right? I wish I could say I know it, that I'm sure. It's not no idea. I have an idea. I'm going to go with think so, all right? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oh, you know what? Did I get it right? Nope, partially correct. So partially right, partially wrong. What was the problem? The problem was that I removed, what was it? I removed, okay, this one, it's good that I did not highlight it, right? So that's fine, because that wasn't one of the especially clarifying statements. It's good that I highlighted this, right? Because that was the clear statement, right? This one though, I guess it's telling me that I shouldn't have highlighted it. And I was torn between that one, between doing it and not doing it, because maybe the fact that it's high school students gives a clarity, but not like really specific clarity, right? So let's see, what does it say here? This phrase clarifies whom the writer means. Or students, you know what? I already forgot. I'm having maybe like a moment here where I'm struggling for memory. The problem is that I didn't, right? That I didn't highlight it, not that I did, okay? So I should have highlighted it. All right, so I was right not to highlight this. I was right to highlight this, but I was wrong in not highlighting this. This is the one that I guess I'll review the video in a moment, right? After I'm done with it. It's the one that I last minute removed, right? Okay, I shouldn't have. All right, I could look at a slide strip, or some other materials to brush up on the topic, etc. But I'm gonna press OK and say, all right, fair enough. Notice what it said, adapting your learning. It kind of popped up, kind of like a subliminal message almost. That basically means, okay, this guy, or this person, doesn't know I'm a guy, but this person got this one wrong. So I'm going to have to give them maybe more questions. Notice it gave me another one, right? Similar, right? So I can go back and have another shot at it, right? And so that's what's going to happen. That's good, because you get a second chance. You get more chances at similar kinds of questions until you finally get it. So by getting those wrong, that partially wrong answer, that initial wrong answer, and one that was right, my process has been delayed, all right? And that's all right. It'll just take me longer to get through it because I'm still trying to get the hang of these questions, all right? Just like you will when you do them. And maybe you'll do better than I, and that'll be wonderful. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's a good a place. I don't want to do the whole tutorial. You're going to be doing it. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to put leave assignment because I'm done, right? And it takes me, I think it takes me back. I mean, you can see where it took me back to the list of assignments. When I want to start back up again, I'll click on it. I'll put begin now. Students, I don't know if it'll take me to that question because I am not actually a student, but I promise you that for you, it will take you to the place where you left off. So I'm gonna hit begin. In my case, it might just go right back to the beginning since it doesn't recognize me as a student, an actual student in the class, but we'll see, we'll see. It does, right? Notice the little bar, and it's 5%, so it will.
Welcome back. We will continue based on the work you've already done.
Right, okay, and when I press OK, it takes me back to the next question in line, I suppose. And this isn't the last thing we saw, but the fact that it says that I've done 5% of it, that's reassuring, right? That it's taking me, that it's acknowledging what I did. It says it down here too. So good, I'm satisfied with that. But I'm not really going to continue, so I'll hit leave assignment, and I'm done. In my case, I would hit instructor view to go back to my own view, right? In your case, there would be an option somewhere to go back to, let me see. It looks like this is just me as the instructor. In your case, I mean, you could just exit or you could go back to Blackboard, right? There should be an option somewhere there so you can go back to Blackboard, right? I mean, if you do at that point, hit the X to get out, right? If you log back into Blackboard, that's fine too. because the fact that you hit the leave assignment, as long as you do that, you are guaranteed to go back in the same progress, right? In my case, it was 5%. And that's it. That's how you do these assignments. And so let me just kind of point out that if you don't finish a tutorial by 11:59 p.m., the late deadline, right? As you can see here, it'll give you whatever percentage. So pretend that I'm that student, right? For some reason, I never finished it. I'll get a 5. Okay, I'll get 5% out of 100%. So my grade will be a 5 for that assignment, right? But that shouldn't be, because I still have, what is it? Today's the 21st, and I have till October 8th, right? I'll try to get it done by September 24th, right? I mean, I'm kidding. I'm not really going to do the assignment. But my point is that if I were a student, I'd have plenty of time to get it done and get the 100%. It's not a tragedy if you only get 91% of it done, or 95% of it done, or even 84% of it done, right? Lower, I still won't call it a tragedy, but you should have done more, right? So try to get it all done. Remember, this is not an assignment where only those who are really good at the topic get a 100. Obviously, I'm not that good at the topic, right? As you can tell, I'm still trying to figure out how the questions were being asked, right? But I always get better, and I think most people do, right? And you will. And so these tutorials, as you get the hang of it, they'll take you less and less time for you to earn that 100, okay? So really, this should not be a grade killer, right? It should be something that helps your grade, right? And one thing that I've seen in the feedback, like in the course evaluation, I like when I really like the tutorials, right? And these are the tutorials that are being referred to. And I'll take the credit for going through the trouble of finding the tutorials, putting them into place. I'll take double credit because I had to fix it all, right? When the publisher did that little trick on us, right? Of making the original materials expire. So I'll take that credit, but the tutorials are there, right? They're available, and they're very valuable. Those of you, I know I advised one student, maybe you're out there, right, listening, watching this. I said, do all the tutorials as quickly as possible so that you can prepare for the TSI reading. There's a student who wants to take the TSI reading soon. Maybe others want to as well. This is the best place to study for the TSI reading or the TSI writing, as the case may be. So, and what I advised the student was, don't just do the ones that are due this week, do the other ones too, okay? Now, let me advise you though, that you should do what's next, right? So these are due on the 24th with a late deadline of October 8th. You should also do assignments in the other categories of Connect, right? Because they might be due before these others, okay? But right now, the only assignments that are available are the course reading and writing topics. They're the only ones. Next week, the grammar assignments become released. The week after that, other types, etc. Okay, so I think I'm going to go back to the welcome page, right? And I'll sign off here. Again, if you have any questions, Pronto is the best place. The group chat is good because it doesn't always have to be the teacher. I'm not always available, right? And so other students might be on and can answer your question really quickly, more quickly than I. In some cases, I often do have my phone with me, etc. And so I will respond. So the group chat is a good place to ask a question. Either someone else or I will respond. You can also use a direct message, and might as well model that since I'm on it right here. Actually, you know what? No, because there may be messages from someone else. I don't want people to see them. So you hit the direct message and then type Jose Perez. You find me and then you directly message me, and it's a private message. That's good too, right? Either way is fine to get answers. You can also email me on Blackboard. I prefer Pronto though. It's available both in the app and through Blackboard. All right, thank you for your attention. And that's it. Have a good experience and keep me, I guess the word, what's that word, in tune or up to date with your progress. All right, bye-bye.